Hello, my friends. I'm, you know, not I don't do this the right way. They say you should tell people that you're going to go live, and I never do, and I apologize for that. Um, let's see. Welcome. I'm Sarah Korth of SEK Handmade. I am so glad you are here, whether you are live with me because you just happen to be around when I started this up randomly, or whether you're watching this later on. We are here because WIP Wrap Up is wrapped up. I said that one of my goals this year was to bookend all of my events with a live. I was going to start with a live to tell people what it was all about, and then I was going to finish up with a live to tell people how it all went. And I had such great intentions. And then, you know what, guys? Last week, I just was not feeling great, and I couldn't figure out why. And I finally figured out why. And so I'm feeling a little better. And so here we are. So, friends, January is done. Who saw that coming? I felt like January was pure chaos. The boys had snow days, like had at least 2, maybe 3 snow days. We got a ton of snow. My brother had a medical emergency, and I made a last minute trip to Arizona for a week. And it just was not what I was expecting or hoping for, if I'm being real honest. But WIP Wrap Up was a dream. And that's because you all make it just wonderfully amazing. I'm going to grab my phone here, and I'm going to see if I can see Instagram. Can I see Instagram? Somehow last time I got so that I could see the comments on Instagram, and I'm not seeing it. So I apologize. I apologize if people are commenting on Instagram and I can't see. I don't know if all of my comments will come up on my StreamYard chat. I don't know. Sorry. Anyways, let's talk WIP Wrap Up. You all were wonderful. We had an amazing group of people who were so active and so supportive of each other, and just really, really incredible. So a big thank you to everybody who participated in WIP Wrap Up. You guys made it amazing. If you missed out, hi from Chicago. Hi, neighbor. You're right close to me. If you did not join in on the chat this time for WIP Wrap Up, I highly recommend joining us next time. It's just a really great group. I do have a question for you guys, and I've posed this question a couple times, and I have gotten not a lot of response. So I would really, really love to know. I have considered several times for my last few events starting a Discord channel, just kind of moving off of the Instagram, Facebook, not moving off of, but using a Discord channel for these chats, because last year, especially, Instagram kept mucking up, and it would kick me off. I'd have events going, and then I couldn't participate in them because it would just disappear me for a little bit. So if you would be interested in me starting a Discord channel, we could both continue the chats, because that's the other thing. These events end and everybody kind of goes their separate ways. They feel like they can't chat in the chat anymore. And it makes me a little sad that we aren't all chatting anymore. And with Discord, we could all just kind of keep going, and then we could like break out into little groups to do events. So let me know what you think. So for those of you who didn't participate and don't know, I just want to do a little quick review of what WIP Wrap Up is. WIP Wrap Up is a totally free event that I hold every January, and starting last year, every June. It runs for a full month. There's nothing to buy. There's nothing to like, you don't have to buy a certain pattern. You don't have to work a certain project. You don't have to pay me a certain amount of money to participate in it. It is just for motivation to get people excited to finish up the WIPs that they've had languishing, and to build community, to encourage each other. So totally free, totally wonderful. The way I format it is I kind of follow the same process every time. The first thing we do is we need to gather up all of our WIPs. We can't know what there is to do unless we assess the whole entire situation. And so, so we gather up all of our WIPs, and then we assess them. And I really encourage people to strongly and carefully consider what they have out for WIPs, and then decide what they're going to finish up and decide what they're going to frog. That can be something that I don't think a lot of people consider very often. You don't look at something you've started and put a bunch of time into it and been like, oh, I'm just not going to get back to that. I'll just go ahead and rip it all out. But it's an important thing to consider. Frogging can be freeing. And so I encourage people to really assess. And we in the group encouraged people when people said, I frogged 3 projects. We're like, yay, good job. And so we assess, we move on projects that we're not going to complete by frogging them, or sometimes tossing them. And then it's time to dive in. And you guys, we had, it was so exciting and fun to watch everyone finish their WIPs. We had someone who finished a blanket that had been lingering for years, and she totally finished it up. We had several people who finished some really big projects that had been lingering, and that is super impressive, because it's one thing to do like kind of like what I did, though I am 100% guilty of this, that I leave items languishing that just need like the ends woven in or a quick block. And so there were lots of people who finished up a whole bunch of projects by doing those small little things. And let me tell you, if WIP Wrap Up is motivation for you to finish those things, that is my goal. But it is also like so exciting to see somebody say, I started this blanket 3 years ago. I just kept putting it down, but you guys have motivated me and encouraged me to finish it up. And so now I have this huge blanket. One was for her daughter, another lady. I thought this was so impressive and creative. She had started a big mandala, but she couldn't figure out what pattern it was. And so what she did, I mean, it was big. And so what she did was she kept going around the edge and left 2 openings, and then made it into like kind of a cocoon wrap. I mean, how cool is that? And so it's something that would have just sat there because she didn't know how to go forward. And in chatting with the people in the group and just the motivation to knock some things out, she got it done. And now she has a gorgeous little like cocoony vest that she can wear. It's so much fun. I love it. All right. And then at the end, there are prizes. Each WIP you wrap up is an entry into the prizes. And so I have drawn winners. I will not be sharing who the winners are on here. I feel like I don't know. Oh, sorry about that. I feel like, my apologies. I feel like maybe I should turn my phone on vibrate or mute. Nope, can't do that right now. Okay. I feel like there's been a rise in predatory bots and people and whatnot, and that they have been, there we go, that they have been seeing, they're watching the giveaways and stuff, and then they figure out who the winners are. They reach out to those people and they're like, hey, give me your credit card. And so I don't want to encourage that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to share the winners. If you are a winner, I will reach out to you, me, myself, personally. And I won't ask for any information like credit card. Don't give people your credit card information, please, please, please. And I'll just ask for where you want me to send the prize. So there you go. That's the process. As I said before, this is a twice a year event now, which is awesome because I don't know about you, but I can't stop piling on the WIPs. And so to have 2 times a year to be encouraged to finish them up is wonderful. Our next event will be for the month of June. For me, this is just a great time, not only because it's about 6 months from when we do the January one, but also I feel like July is a great time to start thinking about Christmas presents. And my goal in July is to help you get organized, not necessarily start Christmas presents or holiday gifts or end of the year thank yous, but to just get organized. So we'll be doing this again in June, and that's why. Let's talk about statistics. I have my sticky note here. So I was shocked. I mean, I was and I wasn't shocked. I'm not a very mathy person, so like I don't have good concept of like, oh, here's I list out everybody's WIPs so I know. It helps me keep track of things in my brain. But I'm not good at looking at those lists and saying like, oh, that's about this many WIPs. So we had 32 people in the Instagram chat who joined in to chat and encourage. 30 people finished WIPs, and that's included in the Instagram chat on my Make Along Facebook group, a private group. And there were a couple people on Instagram who used the hashtag but did not join in on a group of either sort. So 30 people finished up WIPs. And there were, are you ready for this? Because this blew my mind. I had an Excel spreadsheet and I like hit the sum button and I was like, oh, are you sure about that? 213 WIPs were wrapped up. What? Oh my gosh. That's amazing. In just a month. That is incredible. You guys are fantastic. You should be patting yourselves on the back. Yeah, it was fantastic. I'm so proud of everybody. I'm going to show you. So I had to confess I was bad at my own WIP wrap up. But I want to show you what I completed in the month of January. And exactly 0 of them were things to finish up. They were all, one of my goals this year is to work further ahead. And to do that, I kind of had to do a little catch up in January. And so I knocked out some projects. I'm going to share them with you real quick. Most of them are upcoming patterns. So just like I'm going to show you the pattern that's already come out, and then I'm going to give you a little sneaky peeky of things that are going to come out. So the first thing I finished up was pieces of my Delilah collection. So I have, nope, lies. my Winslow collection. Oh my gosh. So the first thing I finished up was my Winslow Cup Cozy. I have a whole other video of all the information on my Winslow collection that I will link. Wish I had a pencil to write that down. I'll try my best to remember to link on YouTube and my Facebook page. I can't really do it on Instagram. So that if you want to check out, like, learn more about these patterns and the yarn, it's all there. I finished up one of my 4 cowls in the Winslow collection. And then I did all the hats. So 4 hats. So 2 brimmed, 1 in fingering and mohair, 1 in worsted weight yarn, and 2 brimless hats. Again, 1 in mohair and fingering weight, and 1 in worsted weight. Then I finished up, you guys, I'm so excited about these. I just took pictures of these yesterday and I am thrilled with them. So today's Tuesday, not tomorrow. Thursday, I have my very first Advent shawl coming out, and I'm thrilled about that. And when I finished up that, I said to myself, do you know what we need? A project to use up the rest of the little bits and bobs of the yarn from the Advent, right? Because that's a fun memory. So I decided to do a cowl, but I didn't want to do, okay. You don't care. I'll tell you more when I come out with this pattern. But so I made one. This is going to be the Lumi cowl. I made one with the scraps from the Advent kit that I had. So leftovers from my shawl. And then I was like, well, that's pretty. I bet that would be really nice with a mini skein set. So I made another one. So I made both of those in January. Those will be coming out in 2 weeks. So join my email list so that you A, don't miss out, and B, get a discount code on them. Yeah. And then I have another collection that I just did a tester call for yesterday. So if you're in the Pattern Testers Facebook group, you can go apply for these. I have, this is my Layton collection, which will be coming out next month, I think. Sometime later. And I have 2 hats. I have a brimmed and a brimless. And for the first time, I made a brimmed slouchy hat. And this is actually a lot of fun. So they'll each have a slouchy and a fitted version and a brimless and a brimmed. And then there will be 2 cowls, but I only finished one of them in January because I was mathing late at night when I was in Arizona and I mathed wrong and I had to tear that one completely back to the beginning and start again. So this is the Layton cowl that is short with a rib at the top and the bottom. And then there's a taller, skinnier one that has no ribbing that I just ended up finishing in January because life. So there you go. Hopefully in June don't look at those and be like, wow, Sarah doesn't have any WIPs. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. So hopefully in June, I'll be prepared to actually finish up some of my own personal WIPs. And hopefully I won't add too many more before then. So there you go. All right. I want to remind you, join my email list so that you don't forget about WIP Wrap Up in June. And then stick around because there are still more events going on throughout the year. WIP Wrap Up is done, but I decided to do an event and it's going to go from mid-February to mid-March. And it's going to be an event to work on scrappy projects. So I don't know about you, but I have lots of just like leftover little bits of yarn that I hang on to because I can't possibly throw pretty yarn away. And so for that event, we're going to be diving into some scrappy projects so that we can use up some of that yarn, be efficient and economical, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm calling it Who Gives a Scrap? So it's going to be great. So again, I know I'm pushing it, but I really encourage you to join my email list, because that is where you will for sure not miss out on all of these events coming up and all the details. Otherwise, follow me all the places. Subscribe on YouTube and turn on your notifications. That's another great way. Like I said, I'm trying to commit to these live videos to bookend my events so that you'll know about them, and that will have a great ending to them. Guys, thank you again. It was such a great month with this wonderful WIP Wrap Up event. I hope you join me for events in the future. And as always, happy crafting. Have a marvelous, marvelous day.